In this presentation, we'll continue working with the Canvas file we created in an earlier tutorial. Here, we will try to create a layout of the two parts, the shelf and the crowner. But first, we need to provide some bleed for our graphic artist who is going to use this to create graphics around this die line. Let's isolate the shelf. Using Tools, Adjust, Bleed, we can add 3 millimeters of bleed around the outside perimeter. Now we are ready to create our layout. Using a standard 1200 by 2400 millimeter sheet size, we can specify gutter information, instruct the bleed outlines to touch, specify margins around the sheet, followed by our nesting options. Notice you can rotate, but in our case, we want to keep the flute direction going vertical, so no rotation. We can set the fill direction, the search time, and most importantly, the strategy to create this layout. Minimum waste, minimum layout, indicating that we want to fill the entire surface, or we can specify our production quantity. In this case, we need to deliver 750 of these POP displays. Setting the edge style and clicking OK, we now have 3 layouts in this job for this specific flute. Layout 9 will require 500, layout 10 93, and one remaining layout with 6 elements on it will only need to be printed once. This specific sheet has a waste factor of 60%. Not very efficient. Let's go ahead and delete that layout and increase the number of layouts from 93 to 94. This will give us an overage of 2 units, which is perfectly acceptable. Right-click to delete and indicate layout 10. It needs to be printed 94 times. We can rename both job as well as the individual layouts. Let's call them shelves 01 and shelves 02. You can right-click and convert these to a manufacturing file, which will give you the following result. This allows me to reposition elements on the sheet, as well as any other manufacturing-related functionality. Let's go ahead and save this in my cloud-based repository and update the canvas as well, since we added bleed to the shelf and the crowner. As a comment, I specify I added bleed. Notice the version up versions automatically from 1 to version 2. Using the Project Show in Browser, I can visualize all the individual documents residing in my cloud-based storage. Here, we can see the shelf file. Clicking on it will open it up in the Web Center viewer. Notice all the dimensions were automatically provided. Let's have a look at the header. And here we can see the header with the bleed. We can use the compare feature to show version 1 in the center of the screen and version 2 on the left-hand side. The difference is displayed on the right-hand side. Lastly, we want to hand this file off to our graphic designer. Using Adobe Illustrator, I can use the Web Center connector to place the Canvas file into a new Illustrator document. Using the Trim and Media box, I can fit this to my bleed line, and using the Structural Design Expand Structural Design layer, I can use the bleed layer, expand it, and use it to create a mask. Of course, any other graphics can be added as well to this design, and using our Studio plugin, you can visualize all this in 3D. Hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thanks for watching.